Welcome to the show, everyone. We're here with Bree Essrig. She's back. Oh, life's better when you're around.
Oh, thank you. I agree.
We're gonna get into our first story, which is, I don't know if you saw the Emmys, but in it, Sean Spicer, who was the press secretary for President Trump in the early days before he resigned, he's the guy that a lot of people say, or that is very true, misrepresented things like who was present at the inauguration and then just yelled at reporters. Melissa McCarthy was him on SNL and pointed out just how ridiculous and terrible he was. Well, Spicer made an appearance at the Emmys, wheeling himself onto the stage and misreporting the crowd size that was watching the Emmys. People laughed. People were shocked, but afterwards, a lot of folks are saying like, that wasn't funny. How dare we give Sean Spicer like a chance to redeem himself after he lied on behalf of the president? What do you think, Bree?
I don't understand why Melissa McCarthy didn't just do it.
Right.
Like, I'm shocked they didn't have her doing that.
Yeah, her response in the audience, like they went to Anna Klumsky, who is from Veep, and she was like, boom!
She had the best reaction
ever. It was so bonkers.
She really did.
But yeah. Melissa was just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but so many people were clapping and cheering, and I was just like, this is weird.
So why did they do it?
Colbert did it.
It was Colbert's idea,
it, right?
He was like, I think it'll be a funny thing. I'm here for jokes first. And he said the joke was about himself, and it uses and underscores that one of the things we know about Sean Spicer is that he lies to people.
Yes.
And here he is lying here on behalf of Colbert, who is himself similar to the president as he presents himself like an egomaniac who wants people to think he's the best in the world. But do you think he should have been invited out?
I just don't think it was relevant. I don't think he is relevant, right? Like I feel like this is a desperate plea for attention and relevance, and he wants to like now not associate himself with all the negative shit. And he just wants to be like a public figure.
I think it's so weird because like if you think about a group that doesn't want to suffer the fate, like they look at Sean Spicer and they say, here's a guy who is outcast and he faces a potential of like never working in this town again. And that's the one thing that Hollywood is the most afraid of.
Yeah.
Like here's a bunch of people who are like, shit man, if I get exiled from Hollywood, that would be the worst thing. So I don't know if they're playing some kind of karmic game subconsciously where it's like, ugh, I don't want to be thought of as mean.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm glad I don't know. A lot of folks are like, it just,
think?
I don't know. When he went on Kimmel, I tweeted something about it and it got into like the Twitter moments. So people who don't know me and don't watch any show I've ever done just saw it and reacted to me.
What did you tweet?
What I wrote is Spicer is on Kimmel. Kimmel's a great interviewer. Sean comes off as like a funny, nice guy who shouldn't have had that job and shouldn't have had to do that job. So saying like he comes off as a funny guy, I think I said he is a funny, nice guy, but really it means like he's just, when you go out, one of the things you can do to redeem yourself in the public in America is to just like go out, be self-deprecating, put your face in front of people. And just by doing that, somehow, as long as you're not a total D-bag while you're doing it, you could have been a total D-bag before, but as long as you're not a D-bag while you're doing it, people will just subconsciously end up being like, oh, he's a good sport.
It's like sort of like when George Bush went on Ellen's show to promote his art.
Right.
And everyone was like, oh, he's just a sweet, goofy guy.
Yes.
And he forgot about everything that happened. And it's just, I mean, not that Sean Spicer is necessarily responsible. Like, I'm not super mad about it, but like, oh my God. So back in the day, I was looking up clips of Trump, obviously, from back in the day. He was on the Emmys, like, intro, I guess, and he was singing Green Acres with Megan Maloney like in the 90s, and it's the most embarrassing thing ever. Please look it up. Please look it up. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't
know.
They said, yeah, Jeb Bush went on the Emmys once to, mock his feeble performance in the presidential primaries. It's just something that happens. And also like Hollywood, it's not the only time they've ever like really forgiven someone for doing something terrible.
Yeah.
And just like kind of overlooked how terrible it is. Like there's a lot of people like Roman Polanski who are like statutory rapists and still they don't seem to get totally exiled. I mean, it's just not surprising that Hollywood would have him on. And I think that I'm grateful that it was Sean Spicer that was the press secretary at that time, because it could have been the opposite. It could have instead of being someone who like very obviously reflected how ridiculous the situation was, it could have been someone who made it seem normal.
That's true.
It could have been someone who was like, yeah, crowd size is that big, and gotten you to believe it, or not brought to light how ridiculous the president's requests are. Like if someone like, effectively told the president not to communicate that idea, we wouldn't know that the president is back there chomping at the bit to misrepresent stuff so obviously terribly, incorrectly.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I like that we know and have this, everyone agrees with it and everyone at least gets the reference that Sean Spicer has lied about a lot of stuff. Now, the thing is, now we know that the thing that he lies about is like crowd size instead of stuff that's way more important and more relevant. And so I think it's not the worst thing ever.
Right.
It's not the most unexpected thing ever. A lot of folks are talking about like the selfies that everybody was taking with him. Like now he's a celebrity.
I think people were more pissed off about that than him actually coming on stage. It's just like everybody else who posed with him in a picture or something.
Yeah, did you see the James Corden one?
Yeah.
So what do you think about the James Corden one?
I'm honestly just offended that carpool karaoke's a show. Like I'm more offended by that than that picture.
It is a show.
I don't know. Like I don't care. Like
that's
Corden
like lip sync battle.
He apologized today. He like released a statement saying he was like super sorry about it. He's like, sometimes I get drunk and I do stupid things. And I was just like, yeah, I mean,
I thought it was good because he like made Spicer uncomfortable, like by like going in for a kiss. Like I thought that was good.
That's true. That is true. But
I don't know.
I don't know. Like I think people are making such a huge deal over it.
Right.
Like just,
I don't know. I think
stop giving these people so much attention.
Yeah.
Like
that's it. So
maybe that's it.
It wasn't a necessary joke for sure.
Right.
It's
not the best joke either. That's what Colbert was saying. He's like, I just had to go for the best joke.
Right, so you're saying it's not.
Is that the best joke? I think Melissa McCarthy as Spicer would have been the best.
You're right, that would have been way better.
Or is that too played out?
No, because this is the Emmys and it's celebrating the year in television.
Right.
So I was about to say before you said that, I was like, I am so smart, I came up with this great thought. And my thought was, it's a callback to one of the things that happened in television that year, and you had a better thought, which was, why don't we have the person who created one of the best moments in television this year do her thing?
Yeah.
Oh God. Maybe with Sean Spicer as a way of making Sean think that it was time to redeem himself when really they would just continue to be mean to him. But as a comedian, I feel like that'd be cruel. I don't want to be cruel to the person to be like, oh no, you thought this was a time to redeem yourself, but really we're just going to make it worse for you.
I mean, that would have been more entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're a public figure and you've done and said bad shit, like.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying.
You
Is
need to
like
be prepared.
He shouldn't have had that job because he's bad at it. Like he did it poorly. He shouted at people. He's since like expressed remorse for doing that, but he was bad at the job. He did an interview with Kimmel where he kind of said that the president tweeting the way he does is wrong, so he put his foot in his mouth that way. He only expressed regret about like the crowd size statements, but not about like continuing to do the job even though he knew what he was doing was morally repugnant. So but I think it's a job that no one should have to do. I think the president needs to set a better example by not asking his press secretary to do these ridiculous, stupid things. They're so transparently terrible. But a lot of people called me out saying like he should have resigned then. And that's a good point.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe, follow Bree. She's about to go to Fantastic Fest.
Hey.
You're gonna love it. Bye.